Shalom Aleichem. Okay, we're going to begin the study today. We're studying and continuing to study out of Matthew's. Okay, we want to try to do 3 chapters. I've been debating whether I'm going to just finish the 5th chapter and stop. Okay, because I wanted people to know that the teachings of Yeshua, first of all, are based in the Torah, the commandments, the mitzvot, and also that we still have a moral perimeter that we are to live in. Okay, and if you're not living within this moral perimeter, you are not living in the spirit. Okay, the spirit functions within the perimeter that Yahweh has set for man, which is the mitzvot, the commandments. All right. So Yeshua is teaching us now, as he taught last time we did the Sabbath class, self-denial. That's basically what he's teaching us. Okay, that's basically what the commandments teach us. Lo tenah. Not you adultery. Lo tirzak. Not you hate, murder, slaughter life. Okay. See, the commandments teach us to constrict this activity within us, which we call yitzhahara, evil or forbidden inclinations that we must identify and comprehend and then abandon. This is what Yeshua is teaching. In this way, we open reception of divine nature. Okay, you don't just get divine nature just because you call yourself a Messianic Hebrew or a Christian or whatever title that we put on ourselves in the earth. The body of Mashiach is one. Okay, the spirit is a polymer. That means that it manifests in many forms, but it's the same spirit. The gift of the prophet, the gift of the apostle, the gift of the evangelist, the gift of pastoral leadership, the gift of teaching comes from one self-same spirit. One same spirit. And so we have to understand the diversity, that the spirit does not create a monolithic, everything has to be done this way, rule, okay, everything has to be like this. Now it's right. Now it's Christian. Now it's Messianic Hebrew. Now it's Hebrew Israelite. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the spirit is diverse in its manifestations. That's what I'm trying to say, a polymer. Okay? So, Yeshua is teaching us concerning adulteration, the woman, that if the woman inflames you, whether it's a woman of the flesh or whether it's that system of religion or system of social science that inflames you, that hardens your heart against the will of Yahweh. Okay, even as Satan tried to inflame Yeshua, he took him to the pinnacle of the temple and showed them all the glories of the world. He said, now if you would bow to me, Satan, deception, I will give you all the glories of the nations of the world. See, this was to inflame Yeshua. Okay. So we know this system in Revelation is called the woman that sits on the beast who had the golden, that gold cup. Aesthetically beautiful, aesthetically valuable cup, but within it is abominations and filthiness. Okay, and when we see the moral degradation in our communities, in our synagogues, the acceptance of homosexuality as a alternate lifestyle, socially acceptable, simply because man changed his science that allows perversity doesn't mean that the Torah of Yahweh changes. Thou shalt not, thou shalt constrict man laying with man, women laying with women in a sexual union. This is forbidden. Okay? But many are become inflamed because they believe in the social science and the trickery of social science more than they believe in the word of Elohim, which he has given to his prophets, and which was made testimony to by his Mashiach, Yeshua. Okay? So Yeshua continues, he says, V'kein im yesiteka yodaka katuk ota tob leka she tefesheka achad mebereka mikol gufeka be gehinam. Okay? So we see the translation, and also if she inflames you. Okay? Inflames you with what? A yitzhara, or evil inclination, or a desire, okay, that hardens your heart against the will of Elohim, which creates a lust for the things of the world, for the things of the flesh. Okay? He tells us now, if this happens, chatuk, cut off. That's what that word means. Cut it off. Chop it off. Okay? What is it? Chatuk, cutting, chop, to censor, to be decisive, to turn from. Okay? This is what he's telling you to do. This is the instruction of your Andon. Okay? Your master. The son of Elohim. Okay? Chatuk. V'kein im yitziteka. Yoda, your hand. That word hand metaphorically can be used as power or ability. If she inflames your ability, okay? I mean, here you are serving Yah, you walking in his commandment, and Shaitan comes and says, okay, if you bow to me, look, I'm going to give you this beautiful woman. She's not your wife, okay? He's not your husband, okay? And you can share in the glory of this fire, the lust of evil. Okay? This is a temptation that Yeshua went through. Okay? And you know what Yeshua's reply was. He denied it. Okay? This is the premise of the Messianic life. This is the premise of the Torah life. To live a life in self-denial that puts to death or chops off, chatuk, cuts off the quality and the lust of this world. The lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of this life. Oh, we've really been overtaken in that in this supremacist culture. You know, we boast about the institutions we've been educated in. Well, I went to Harvard. I went to this. Okay. But all knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is from Elohim. Okay. And when we are associating our education only to the physical institutions of man, whose knowledge is more a miseducation, and directs you towards the things of the flesh, the things of the earth, that keeps your mind from being directed towards he who sits at the right hand of Elohim in the above. See, these instructions are clear. And that's why it's so hard for me to understand why we're so confused. Set your mind above where your Mashiach is, sits at the right hand. That is the righteous power of Yahweh. Okay? Mind not the things of the earth. Okay? Because they will inflame you. Yeshiteka. Yeshiteka. They will inflame you. Okay? So when you out here and you're living and something inflames you, a woman that's not a part of your marriage, okay, an ideal that is not part of your spiritual culture, okay, where is this ideal going to lead me? Is it going to lead me into a peaceful relationship with Yahweh, or is it going to create war between me and Yahweh? Because let me tell you something, and this is a true statement and it's faithful. Yahweh Elohim is at war with sin. All sin. All wickedness. He is at war with it. So that's why the Malach, the angel of Yahweh, said to Miriam or Yosef, and you shall call his name Yeshua, for he shall save his people from sin. To create a peaceful relationship between your creator and yourself. You can't have a peaceful relationship with Yahweh with a compromised doctrine that says I can continue to be inflamed and appropriate my hand, my ability, my power to fulfill this inflammation and still have peaceful relationship with Yahweh. That is an illusion. I'm covered by the blood. If that blood ain't cleansing you from sin, you got the wrong blood. If that blood gives you the accessibility to be promiscuous, to continue in fornication, to continue in idolatry, to continue in manipulation and deceit and lies and hatred, you got the wrong blood. Because the blood of Yeshua that inaugurates the covenant of life cleanses you from all sin. It is written. Okay? So when people say, well, you know, your ministry isn't blessed because, you know, everybody hates you. Oh, I know why. Because I believe what the scripture says, that the blood of the covenant cleanses you from all sin. If you walk in the light, the truth, as he is in the truth, then the blood of Yeshua cleanses you from all sin. That's what it says. That the Son of Elohim was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. Not a doctrine that says that by grace you are saved. You can never attain a perfected state. You are never to seek a perfected state. Just do the best you can because the blood covers you. You're all right. That's not what Yeshua taught. Okay. Yeshua said, Chachuk. Cut it. Chop it. What is that? Censor it. Be decisive about it too. No if, and, or but. No, well, we're not all perfect. But Yahweh is. His power that he actions towards us is perfect. So the excuse that, you know, we're not perfect, so I can live in materialism. I can live in greed. I can live in adulteration. I can live in fornication. I can live, you know, producing babies without marriage or covenant commitment. And then complain about it. Like you was the only one in bed. Like you didn't willfully open up the gate and practice whoredom. And then you don't want me to call it whoredom. You want me to call it a psychological social problem. That's not what Yahweh called it. He called it whoredom. And I am a messenger of Yahweh, not the social science of modern man that allows these things, that takes moral education out of their schools, that says it's okay, just go get some rubbers, protect yourself, take some chemicals to keep your body from producing that pregnancy. You can screw all you want. We're not worried about your moral dignity. Just don't have a lot of babies that we got to take care of. So we're going to give you this birth control pill. We're going to give you and walk around passing out rubbers instead of teaching women moral virtue, the beauty of their body, the honoring of their body, okay, and the dignity of marriage, covenant relationship with a man. Okay? That's not what Yeshua taught. Y'all understand? It's a difference between social science and the word of Elohim. And we have brought the word down to the level and the moral values of social science to fit into the world, see? So we seeking the glory of the world. We took the bait. Shaitan has took us to the pinnacle of the temple and said, look all the glories of the world. I give it to you. Just Bible. You think he still ain't tempting? He don't change his strategy, and we done went for it. Okay? So he said, Chatuk Otah. Cut her off. Chop her off. And be decisive about it. Turn from her. Turn from that other woman. Because I want you to be the woman with the 12 stars on your head. I want you to be the woman that brings forth the male child of truth and righteousness. I don't want you to be the woman on that beast of false information and compromised doctrine that tend towards the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of this life. Oh no, I don't want that for you. I want you to cut her off. And don't drink from that golden cup. Oh yes, it look pretty. It'll give you some status. It'll give you big crowds. Okay. But what is it to gain the whole world and to lose your soul? Okay. That's what I'm concerned about. For myself, for my wife, for people that I know. Not that I be famous. If Yahweh wants me to be famous, believe me, he got the power to lift me up there. In his time, when he wants it, I'm not concerned about that. My concern and my grief is the rejection of those who call themselves Messianic Hebrew, those who call themselves Christian. They reject the moral light and dignity of the word in order to be inclusive within the indignities of the world. The rebellion against the will of Yahweh. That's what grieves me. When we call hate love. Okay? Well, the Hebrews are black, so we're going to hate all white people. Righteousness is for everyone. See, I'm wise enough to know that I stand against the doctrine and the social order of white supremacy, but I understand that they are worthy of righteousness if they repent and cut off this doctrine of hatred, this social structure of hatred. I'm going to receive them. White, brown, red, yellow. My message that Yahweh has given to me is for all men. To fulfill the righteousness of Torah. And to cut off And stop drinking from that filthy cup of abominations and filthiness of the woman, of the system that rides on a beast of social science religion that allows the indignities of sin and lawlessness under the guise that it is an act of grace. Okay? He said, cut her off from all your body. For it is good for you to catch it. Okay? Shay, which or that. This is the root word. Te-fash. Te-fash or te-pash. Okay? Heka. That you catch it. It is good for you that you catch it. Catch that evil inclination and don't let that leaven the whole lump. Catch it. He didn't say, cut it off. He used cut here. But he's telling you here to catch it. That's from this word. Tefash, to catch. Look, to comprehend, to grasp, to occupy. That when you occupy something, you're overcoming something else. Somebody come and occupy America to set up a new order. That means that they are overcoming the system that exists and establishing a new system. Okay? So he's telling us to catch it, to occupy, to grasp hold of it by its neck. Okay? To comprehend the nature of this yitzhar, this inclination, and where this inclination want to lead you to the heavenly mind or to the earthly mind. Now, I hear people, because of we're yet unable to rise up above race consciousness. Well, dualism was a Greek ideal. What are you talking about? Dualism started when they said Elohim created the Shamayim ve'ha'arisi, the heavens and the earth was filled with darkness. Okay, there was two different qualities that was joined in man. Okay? So the quality of the flesh must be purified by the quality of Shamayim, the spirit. But simply because the Greek said it, it's wrong. Okay? So we're going to create a whole new ideal. We're going to twist the word. So, ontological dualism, that there is a carnal nature and a spiritual nature, and the spiritual nature must dominate the carnal nature through a process of purification. That's the doctrine of the word, not the Greeks. Simply because something was written in Greek language doesn't mean it's Greek philosophy. You understand what I'm saying? And so people say, well, don't be so mean. No, don't be so ignorant. You want to bring these ignorant ideas to the forefront, but you don't want nobody to chop these ignorant ideas down. Oh, it's okay, brother. No, it's not okay. Yahweh's will must be supreme. Yochanan said, the axe is laid to the root of the tree, and every tree that does not bear fruit will be chopped down and cast into the fire. That's the word. So when I say it now, I'm being mean. But when you read it in the pretty language of KJV, oh, every tree will be chopped down. That's not how Yochanan the Immerser said it. An axe is an aggressive tool. He said, look, the axe is laid to the root. Yah is getting ready to remove the root of the causation of evil behavior. And those that resist this purging, this uprooting, this cutting off of that Yitzhahara of wickedness, that Yitzhahara of lawlessness, you're going to be chopped down and cast into the fire. See, that's just the reality. Okay? But because we have gravitated towards the flattery of social science, read the book of Proverbs, the Mishnah, about flattery. It's not a part of divine consciousness. It's not a part of the divine emotional structure of Yahweh. To speak in flattering terms to the people. The objective is to cut off the root of sin that is in man through the proper administration of the word and obedience of truth unto the purifying of the soul, unto the birth of unfringed love, the partaking of divine nature, that we might establish righteousness in the earth. I'm staying with that. You should stay with that, or begin to repent, shubah, turn to this way, because I know it is the truth. No excuse will do. Okay? So he continues. He said, Leka she te fasheka. Vesheka. Achad. Ma bireka. And this word right here, oh yeah, I got it. Means from organ. And in the definitions, it can relate to penis. Okay? Yours, or from your penis. The penis is, when your heart inflames with lust, in many cases, it's your penis that hardens. Okay? Which is a representation of the effect of lusting for what is forbidden. It hardens your heart and directs your desire towards the fulfillment of that which is not a part of the will of Elohim. That's why it says that the Pharaoh's heart was hardened, because he lusted for dominion. He lusted for sovereignty. He was trying to covet, and maintain the position of Elohim upon the earth. And he couldn't stop himself all the way to the Red Sea. Even though the signs came, destruction came upon him, he was so hardened towards the lust of dominion that his heart could not be softened towards the sovereignty and the acceptance of the sovereignty of Elohim. Okay? Mikol, from all, gufeka, be gehinam. Okay? So it says that from one organ, penis, as a reference, yours, from all your body, so that be with Gehinnom. Okay? The Gehinnom is the place of fire. Okay? But fire relates in this situation to the lust of evil. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. If you keep feeding into this fire instead of cutting it off, you're going to be completely leavened and overtaken with the lust of evil. And consumed in that fire. This is what the Shalakim, Paul, was saying. That because of your persistence to feed into the perversities of the lust of evil, Elohim gave them over to perversity. It gave them up. And they were consumed and overtaken like Sodom and Gomorrah. Until Elohim told Abraham, he said, let me go down and check this out. Because they didn't got to a point now where they have to be completely consummated. And this is where our nation is going. This is where our communities is going. We're being turned over to the perversities of the social science of the flesh and perverses religion that says Elohim can have peace with you even though you're functioning in an inflamed heart towards those things that his Torah, his mitzvot, forbids. It's a lie from hell. It's a lie from the darkest regions of existence that we're functioning in. Okay? So if I am to be hated, if you are to be hated by standing in the teachings of Mashiach as he was hated and crucified and rejected by the nation, so be it. But we will continue to pray for the salvation of the people. We will continue to pray for the resurrection of the Christian church back and a return to the true doctrine of Yeshua HaMashiach. We will continue to pray for our Messianic Hebrew brothers and sisters who are confusing themselves with another form of social science and all trying to invent new doctrines and playing with the name of Yah and all this kind of foolishness that we're going through. We're going to continue praying for you who think that you can take the supremacist form of Christianity and mix it with the name Messianic Hebrew. Still doing the same thing, the same slave doctrine, the same emotionalism, the same scripture babbling. Don't impress me because you can quote off 10 scriptures. Do you understand those scriptures? And are you actualizing those scriptures into a reality of righteousness? See, that's what this is about. The purification of the heart. It's not what goes in man and defiles him. It's what comes out of the heart that defiles him. Fornication, adultery, murder, evil thoughts, greed. These are the things that defile a man. And how many times we got to read it before we understand that it says, Esherei Zaki live. Blessed are the pure who have the purity of my heart. That's what it actually says. For they shall see Elohim. And the reason we got pictures of these Eurocentric human ideal of Elohim. We done played into the social science of race idolatry. God is white, God is black, Elohim is spirit. It's right there in the word. Take down those pictures, black or white. Burn them. Take down those statues, black or white. Crush them up like Ezekiel did when he took rain. Okay? Crush them up. Okay? And make yourself accessible to the Spirit through a life of self-denial. So that you don't be what? Your whole body consumed with Gehinnom. See? With, there can be in or with, within Gehinnom. Within the lust of evil. Although 11 is a whole lump. The scriptures know what it's talking about. Paul, Saul, however name you want to use, it was a true apostle and prophet of Yahweh. We just don't understand his writings because he was somewhere where you need to be, in the spirit. Okay? See, we too busy now trying to attain the world's approval. Well, I got to get I can't teach this unless Professor so-and-so gives me a degree, or unless somebody's name is. But Paul said, I don't come in the commendations of man. I come in the epistles that prove my apostleship. The epistle that prove who I am is the letter that I have written in your heart. The transformation that has taken place. You understand what I'm saying? We got to go back to the teachings of Yeshua, founded upon the commandments. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm going to call a whore, whore. I'm going to call sin, sin. So that I don't be deceived. That whore on the beast, this whore system, this adulterated system that use religion, politics, social science. The next thing you know, you got men marrying women, everything that is opposed to Elohim. And if you have partook in a homosexual lifestyle, we're not hating you. We saying repent, because we care more about the salvation of your soul than we do about how you are accepted in this society. Because you will be in the Haba Olam longer than you're going to be here in this flesh. You'll be in Gehinnom, in this state of evil, forever. Yeshua came to save man from sin and homosexual behavior, the lust of evil. It is a sickness within man. Just like thievery is a sickness in man. Just like hatred is a sickness in man on a deeper level of the spirit. Sin is a sickness that you need to be healed from. And it is only by the action of the Ruach HaKadosh, as you walk in the obedience of truth, that this can take place. Okay? So no, I don't want to be a part of your groups. I'm through trying to organize. I'm through petitioning the church, the Messianic Hebrew community, brothers, to say, hey man, come on. The sole purpose of the Torah, the sole purpose of the Spirit, the sole purpose of the testimony of Yeshua is to teach us how to overcome the disease of sin and to bring forth righteousness and establish righteousness upon the earth. But if you want to continue playing religion, go ahead. I really don't have the energy to go in this circle. It's time to move on. Okay? You want to continue to say Uriah Ishmael Barak is a false prophet. You don't know what he's talking about. He's arrogant. That's fine. But I know that these are true teachings. And this is the true way. That's all I need to know. And I'm going to continue in it unto perfection. Every day I fight against Yetzer Hara rising up in my soul. And I know you do too. I know you do too. Let's not pretend that these evil inclinations, but we can't transform them and make them acceptable by developing a doctrine that does not confront sin. Yeshua gave you a commandment. He said, Yodaka, Yodeka, Chatuk, Ota. When it is inflamed, your ability, okay, cut her off. Lo, denaf. Lo, terzak. Lo, teganab. Teknab. Thou shalt not kill. Hate, gossip, slander. Thou shalt not steal, deceive, manipulate people into a false reality unto sin. Thou shalt not adulterate. Take the thing of the flesh and try to integrate it with the spirit and make it cohesive. Oil and water don't mix. But that's what we're trying to do. These oil and water religions. I'm a Hebrew. And then we take on this little nice courtesies and this and that, but we're living in sin. We're living in adultery. We're living in fornication. We're living, you go into the church, you got all these single mothers. Well, where's the man? Well, the black man just ain't no good. Well, wait a minute. Have you made a covenant relationship with a man? No. What was you doing in bed with him? Because a covenant can only be broken by idolatry. Okay? That's what Yeshua taught. That's what I believe. So you was out having a good time. You seen somebody that inflamed you and you fulfilled it. Now you got a baby. Now the man that inflamed you and you laid with is no good. You might want to look in the mirror. Male and female. It might be that both of y'all are miseducated, ignorant, and you have given yourself over to the Yitzhahara of sinful behavior, even though you have decorated yourself with a religion and a title. So now you want to blame everybody else for your lust. That's not going to get you delivered. What's going to get you delivered is that you cut, chop, censor, and be decisive to turn away from those things that is opposed to the fulfillment of the righteousness standard of Torah. This is what the word teach. Okay. So we're going to conclude here. Study this. Okay. You got the Hebrew words. A lot of it is root, like tev, fash. Okay. This is it means shall. This means your or you. Okay, but you got to find the root. That's what you're going to find in the dictionary. Okay, the root. Okay. Eber. That's from. That's a suffix. That's a prefix. That's a suffix. So, I offered the Hebrew classes. I offered the health classes. I offered the Sabbath classes to this community. And because they have rejected it, we're moving on. So for you who are still coming to the Sabbath class, we're not going to do the health classes. We're not going to do the Hebrew classes. That's dead now. Okay. We offer it. You reject it. Okay. We move on. We wipe our feet and move on like Yeshua instructed. It's not a big emotional issue for me. It just grieves me that you would reject something that is so clearly needed and continue in the demoralization process that the social science of this system is taking you through. And you will, as the word says, be consumed by it, akal, eaten up by it. Nothing I can do. I am not Yahweh. I am merely a minister of his word. So, thank you for coming. Missing a lot of people, and that's fine. As the Sabbath class is forsaken. My family, we always do Sabbath class. You're invited to come, but it's not a big thing for me. It's a big thing for you. Do you want to be in Gehenna or with Gehenna, overtaken in the lust of evil and consumed? And I'll say it and I'll end here. Yahweh has no peaceful relation with sin, with lawlessness. The Son of Elohim manifested to destroy, batal, the works of evil. Period. You can compromise around it. You can do all you want. Your society has done that, America. And as you allow and conform perverse behavior and call it normal, it's your judgment. You're being turned over, America, for consummation. That's judgment. Okay? That's judgment. When sickness and perversity, when all ethics, courtesy, you function from hatred, antagonism, negating and minimizing. These are the signs that you are being judged and consumed as Yahweh withdraw his hand of grace from you. Read it in Romans chapter 1. Read the dissertation that he gave, that you will be judged by the work that you have done in the body. Not by the fact that you had some mental assistance or some persuasive faith. You can persuade yourself to believe anything. But it is a faith rooted and grounded in the moral dignity and righteousness of Yahweh. And if it's not that, you're running in vain. Every man, the apostle said, that runs a race must run according to the rules. And you got to ask yourself today, have I been running according to the rules, to the divine order, to the moral standard, and to the teachings and testimony of self-denial as a cultural lifestyle to put away the Yitzhahara of the flesh so that we can bring forth the dignity of the spirit? Have I been running the race according to the rules? Okay. If you haven't, I see a few people shake their head. If you haven't, then you know the deal. And I'm not being mean. I'm not being angry. I love you. I care for my people. I care for all people. But I care especially for the African community in America, who has been completely miseducated and led astray through brutal hatred, okay, and abuse, socially, politically, as well as physically, okay. But if you choose the way of your oppressor, the social science of your oppressor, above the righteous requirements of Torah, that Paul taught in Romans 8:4, that we were called to fulfill the righteousness of Torah. We were called to obtain the glory of Yeshua. We were called to be partakers of the divine nature and escape the corruption of the world. And if this is not your goal, Mashiach in you, the hope of glory, if you don't even know where you're going, you don't even know what the hope of glory is, haven't studied it, because ain't nobody teaching it. There are three things that remain: faith, hope, and love is the greater. In order to get to love, you got to know how to appropriate your faith towards achieving the hope, because the result is the birth of divine nature, or the quality of love within man unto fullness. Okay. And as hard as I've tried these years, and as many times that I've been discouraged and have stumbled on occasion in darkness, because I just said I'm through, because we want to party. Okay, keep partying. I will be discouraged no more. I'm done being discouraged. I'm moving forward to the high mark of the calling of Yeshua HaMashiach. And all things that were counted gain to me, as Paul said, I count as loss, that I might attain the excellency of the knowledge of Yeshua HaMashiach, that I might know him in the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his suffering, the conformity of his death, that if by any means I may attain the out-resurrection from the dead one. That's my goal, because it is written. And I believe what Yahweh has spoken through his prophets and apostles. And if you speak different from them, don't expect me to hear. If your science is promiscuous, don't expect me to follow. Me or my family or any student that I have who is committed to this way, we going to go together to the high mark of the calling of Yeshua HaMashiach, that we might attain the glory of Yeshua and its power to establish righteousness in the earth as kings and priests of our Father, Yahweh Elohim. Brothers and sisters, shalom aleichem, peace be unto you. Go your way and meditate upon this word, because we hope these seeds at some point in this city will spread. It won't spread through us. We planted enough seed, and we're packing So next 4 months, I hope y'all can be consistent with the rest of this study. But if not, that's fine. I done dust my feet. Okay. And we're going, hopefully, to more fertile land. We've reached out to pastors. We've reached out all over the country. Hey, man, let this ministry in. Let's re-examine the direction that we're going. You don't want, oh, okay, fine. No problem. I'm not crying no tears. I'm still praying for you, that y'all will break that spirit of arrogance. And I ask you out there, how do you know what you got? It's right. Anyway, I'm done with all that. Okay. Shalom Aleichem. Y'all be cool. We're going to be back next Saturday, 2 o'clock. Be on time. If you want to bring guests, make sure you bring guests. I don't have to shoot, you know, in my set. You know, we want guests that come to learn. Okay. I'm here to teach. That's my position in this class, to teach. If you want to instruct me, you do so after the class. Okay. So we're going to do question and answer and then end the class. Shalom Aleichem.